good evening to you from Lincoln, Nebraska. Excuse me. Currently on what's called the Nebraska Highway. Which is basically just a quick jaunt over. We just pulled off of I-80 and hopped on, what was it? Just a minute ago. It was like 22 or 19 or something. I don't remember what it was. And that was just a real quick, short run over, and then we got off of that, and now we're on Nebraska Highway, and we're basically making our way over to I-29, which will take us southbound through Missouri. And let's see, then what? Through Missouri, and then actually it's going to take us, let's see, yeah, southbound for, I don't know, maybe 100 miles or maybe 200 miles. And then we're going to cut over onto I-70, headed east through Missouri, through Columbia, over towards and into St. Louis, which, let's see, from the looks of it, I think we'll be running into Illinois, I guess. Yeah, it looks like the bottom half of Illinois there. And from 70, we'll hop on to 57 for about 50 or 100 miles, and then over onto the 24. And that'll take us down through Nashville, Tennessee. And it looks like we might be going through Kentucky just for a quick bit also. So that is what is in the more near future, I guess. If it's in tonight's future, I don't know. Only time will tell. But it is in our future. All going according to plan, it is. But, geez, when does that ever happen? I mean, it happens. It does happen. I mean, yeah, things do go according to plan sometimes. They do. So, anyhow, yeah, so with that, let's go ahead and do a quick check-in here. We're still calling it Wednesday, November 18th, 2020. And now a current local time of 7:21 post-meridian, and current running temperature of about 64 degrees out here in Lincoln. Let's see what Sheila B is calling it here. Is she calling it? Yes, she is. She's calling it Lincoln. So we are in agreement. That's all. That is outstanding. So almost more often than not, we're not in such agreement, but we are this time, and that's good. Yes, that is good. I'll tell you, I really am digging, I'm enjoying, I'm liking, and appreciating this, having two GPS units running at the same time. Actually, I'm liking it a lot. It's nice, and I mean, for the money's invested, I feel like I've gotten a far better deal than you would spending $800 or $900 or $1,000 on one unit, right? I feel like I'm getting a way better value for my money having two running. Just because it's two screens, I can have one set in one way and the other one set the other way, and it's just, yeah, it's awesome. So, you know, pretty cool. And at some point, I don't know when, at some point off in the future, I'll be doing something of a review on the truck GPS, on the Garmin Diesel 780 truck GPS, that is. but not quite yet. I just don't feel like I've used it enough to such a point to give a valid and fair review of it. But as it stands right now, I'm really happy with it. I mean, it's just, you know, whatever. I mean, it's got, the thing is, see, it has so many different little features in there that to ever get to a point of actually needing or using them all, it just, I haven't even scratched the surface, so I can't really give a fair, reasonable review of it, you know, until I do. And the thing, honestly, I don't know if I'll ever actually will scratch the surface on a lot of that stuff, just because, well, really, I'm just using it to guide me. You know, I mean, really, that's pretty much it. But it has all kinds of other things. You could, I mean, it even has an ELD in there, you know, electronic logbook, and I could see where that could come in really handy, you know, for an owner-operator kind of thing, or, you know, someone running under their own authority, I guess, that, you know, instead of investing in, you know, an electronic logbook that's tied into the infrastructure of the truck, computer system and all that, where that could be a little pricey maybe, this, you know, as long as this makes DOT happy, I can see it coming in real handy. And it's actually been pretty accurate, and what's interesting is when I'm, you know, when I have it, you know, when I, you know, start my shift for a day on my existing ELD, it's in agreement with it as far as like, and it'll pop up and give me a notification and say, hey, you know, you've been driving almost 8 hours, you're going to need a break soon. And it's like, I look over at my actual ELD and it's saying that they're in agreement. They're saying the same thing. So it tells me that it's got an accurate configuration. You know, I don't know. So it's kind of cool. So I can see how that come in handy. The one thing that I would give a thumbs down on, and not necessarily a thumbs down, but just it wasn't designed very well, is that it's so heavy that originally, you know, and the way that it mounts, you know, you have the suction cup, it mounts onto the windshield, and then you have the mounting, you have, let's see, yeah, so you have the suction cup bracket that sticks to the windshield, and then it's got this little arm that sticks out, and it actually is a swinging arm, and it has a little ball at the end of it, right? I think we pretty well, you know, where a lot of us who've ever messed with any kind of you know, holding devices, you know, for phones, etc., you've all seen, you know, they got this little ball at the end of the arm, and then the thing that holds the device up, you know, has a receptacle for that ball, so you have a ball hinge kind of thing, right? And then the unit attaches magnetically to that thing on this particular device. And so, anyways, what I'm getting at is that the device itself is so stout and heavy that the ball wasn't strong enough to keep it from sliding or from tilting down when I go over bumps and stuff. And so I had to come up with a fix for it, a solution for it, and I did. And it works. So at some point I'll go over that too. I'll make a dedicated video just to that. So, and title it accordingly, appropriately, because it was pretty frustrating at first. I was a little bit disappointed in that right off the top, but you know, whatever. You get something like that, you know, just go ahead and come up with a fix for it. I did, and I'll share that at some point. So, but yeah, other than that, it's a pretty good device. I've noticed, shit, should I, yeah, fuck, I gotta stop, son of a bitch. I hate it when they do that. I had a pretty good bit of momentum going there. Oh well. What was I gonna say? But yeah, I've noticed a few times it loses accuracy. Like, you know, I have the first one that I have, which is just the car GPS running in tandem with it, basically. And what I've noticed is that the truck one, it loses accuracy a little bit more often. Like, it'll, like, even the thing that tells you how fast you're going will sometimes not be in agreement with what my actual speed is. A couple little things like that. And then one time it thought I was driving off through the middle of the desert, you know, and I was on the interstate and it thought I was out in the middle of the desert, and it was like blinking at me like, oh, you know, this route's not known for truck accessibility, all this kind of stuff, right? And it's like, well, I'm on the interstate, and that was right after I got it. It was pretty much right out of the box. My first run with it was doing that already. So that concerned me, but it hasn't done it since. So. But otherwise, I mean, it's pretty accurate. It's got cool features. I don't know. Whatever. Like I said, I'll do a review of it later at some point. Make a video completely dedicated just to a review on it. But that'll be down the road a ways, so to speak. Yes, sir. So anyhow, what are we doing here? Now we are currently on what's called Highway 2. And we're running kind of southeasterly. And we'll be on this one for, telling me, 44 miles. And then we'll be hopping on the 29 south towards Kansas City. And let's see, what else do I have in the, I could have sworn that I had a rest area selected here coming up soon too, and I don't know why that's not, I wonder if I passed it. I wonder if I was yammering and I passed it up. Let's see here. Time to Via Point. Okay, Via Point distance, 68 miles. Okay, so I didn't pass it up, so that's good. Because I'm going to be needing to, and that is going to be a rest stop, a rest area up there in 68 miles, because I'm going to be needing to pull off and get in my half-hour break and grab something to eat. And I'm just going to do that at a rest area. Because the next, I need to fuel. I have just under a half a tank, like 3/8. But the next fuel area, or next Petro or TA, isn't for like another 200 miles or something like that, and I won't have time to make it all the way there. So I'm gonna have to do my logbook break at a rest area, then get back underway, and then run over to I think I'll probably do a Petro, and then fuel up. And that's fine. Actually. I usually like to try and do my brake and my fuel at the same time, at the same stop, so I don't got to stop twice, but it is what it is on this one. I don't really have too much choice in the matter here. Got to get the brake in, the Obama brake. So, yeah, I have an hour and 51 minutes left of driving. That's just not long enough to make it 200 more miles or whatever. So anyhow, we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Hope you all are doing well. And I will see you somewhere down the road. See ya. Well, hey there. How goes it? How goes the battle, I wonder? Let's see. Submerged suspect attempts underwater or something or another. Wow. Huh. were we? Yes, we were working our way through Nebraska. Let's see, what was it? What were we calling it? Lincoln, that's what it was. Yes, Lincoln. So yes, we did. We worked our way down through Lincoln, over onto Highway 2, and we ran Highway 2 eastbound for whatever it was, 40 some odd miles, in and past and through, or past, I don't know, Nebraska City. And there we crossed the state line into, I believe, Iowa. I think earlier I was saying Illinois or something, or I was thinking it was Illinois, but turns out I think it's Iowa, which actually does make more sense. And hopped on I-29, which is what we're on right now. And here, momentarily, we will be once again crossing another state line, just like that. It was just a real short jaunt there through Iowa. There we go, mile marker 1. Okay, so yeah, not quite yet. It's almost there. We got 1 mile to go. But yeah, just a real quick, geez, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 mile skip through Iowa there on I-29, as I mentioned, southbound. So real quick, I'm going to go ahead and update you. Still Wednesday, November 18th. Holy smokes, I can't see shit. Man, that puppy got tight. Wow, holy shit. My goodness, Batman. Yeah, where was I? Man, Wednesday, November 18th. Current local time, 8:31 in the PM, or maybe 8:21 in the PM. And temperature outside about 59 degrees and elevation of 800 and about 90 feet-ish. And here we go. I'm now going to welcome you to Missouri. Yes, indeed. Beautiful Missouri at that, actually. Yeah, again, wishing it was daytime, of course, but it's not. And I'm going to have to get used to it, you know. It's, you know, we're rolling into winter. We're falling into darkness once again, as we do every year. And the day is going to continually get shorter and shorter, even still, for another month and a few days, I guess. Back into a less lit area. I'm going to turn on this here little fog light that we got down in the front of the truck and see if it makes any kind of difference whatsoever to the eye of the beholder of the camera. Or not. because I mean it's definitely a bright light. So what I did, so originally, you know, the boss put the thing on there, and well, he bought 2 of them, and he only put 1 on for whatever reason. But originally, you know, when he first put it on, he kind of had it aimed kind of straight, maybe to the right a little bit. The whole idea was that, you know, we could put these lights on here, and, you know, one on either side of the truck, right? That's the idea, is to have 2. And because at nighttime, right, and we're coming into the winter, so it's going to be a lot more nighttime, so it really would have come in handy if we'd gotten 2 of them on here, because that was the whole idea. But that's neither here nor there. The whole idea was to put them on there in such a way that we can aim them to the right and left side of the road on the shoulder a little bit, because when you're out here kind of in the middle of nowhere and there's no street lights and the moon isn't out, and you need to make a you know, a turn, you know, on an exit, or, you know, whatever, you know, back onto an on-ramp or an off and off-ramp or whatever, it's like I can't see a frickin' thing. It's pitch black out there to the left or to the right of me. I can't see a damn thing. Just the high beam, or the headlights and the high beams for that matter, they only illuminate what's in front of me. You know, they don't go off to the right or the left very much at all. And even then, with all these vehicles out nowadays that have these super high intensity white high beams and low beams and fog lights and all kinds of craziness, you know, now I'm competing to be able to see against all that. So anyhow, that was the idea, was to get them set up so I could see better to my right and my left, my peripherals. And well, we only got the 1 on there, so it was pointing kind of straight and off to the right a little bit when he first put it on. So I went ahead and I angled it towards the center of the front of the truck, you know, like kind of in the same area where my regular lights are, because it's not doing me any good having it just on the passenger side. If we were going to just do 1 light, I wish he hadn't chosen the driver's side rather than the passenger side, because that just doesn't do me any good. It just doesn't. I mean, you know, if I had 2 of them, 1 on both sides, then having the 1 on the passenger side makes sense to have it turn, you know. But just having 1 on the passenger side doesn't do me any good. Nothing. I need it on the driver's side more than the passenger side. Anyway, I went ahead and pointed it kind of forward into my line of sight, and to see if it would kind of help me, you know, just to see if it was worth a shit, basically. That's what I'm getting at. And it does. They're definitely bright, and it lights up like road signs and stuff. That's great, actually. They're so high intensity that, yeah, they light up things that will reflect light like crazy. Like, whereas once I was blind, now I can see kind of thing, you know. So that's great. As far as the roadway itself, yeah, you know, sort of. It sort of does. But I want to see if it'll make a difference to the camera at all here. So once we get an opportunity, I'm going to go ahead and do that. The other downside to it is that whatever it is, I guess it's just the LED themselves, the light emitting diodes themselves, or it's the wiring. I think it's the diodes themselves send out a radio frequency that causes extreme interference with my CD and basically make it useless. So it's kind of like, wow. You know, I don't know. You know, honestly, if I'm in snowy conditions or, you know, crazy weather, the safer of the 2 options is going to be probably leaving the CB on, rather, because, you know, you got your CB on, and you know, if something stopped up ahead of you, you're going to know it with the CB on way before you're going to see it coming. But that's what I want to know. I want to know have to turn the CB off to do it. Let's see if this does anything for you. Let's see, here we go. Now it's on. Doesn't really do shit now, does it? If I back this out, because that's really where it gets dark. Okay, so it's still on. There we go. Turn it off. So you see it has high intensity to it, right? Here we go. Now we turn it on. But, I don't know. That's about that. That's funny. It would have been a huge favor to me to put it on the driver's side rather than the passenger side. I just don't understand why we chose that side over the driver's side. I just don't get it. I don't know. But it is what it is now. So then, let me turn the CB on. Let me go ahead and crank it up a little bit here. Okay, so when I turn on this light, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Just this interference coming from my radio. As soon as we pass by these two other cars here. Alright, ready? Here we go. That's what it does to my CB. It's crazy interference. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's just because the wires are unshielded or if it's the diodes themselves doing it. I think it might be the diodes. Because anytime I pass one of these trucks that has these super bright white lights on it, the same thing happens. I get all kinds of radio interference. So it's probably the diodes. I don't know. So anyhow, there you go. Once again, welcome to Missouri. Is it Missouri or Missouri? If you're from Missouri, I think it's Missouri. If you're not from Missouri, it's just Missouri. So, welcome to Missouri. Hope you all are doing well. I'll see you down the road.